Good day friends, I just want you to watch this video and know how to play Johnsteve cognitive restructuring card. For those of you that are very far, please, and those of you who doesn't have the manual, but this is stated on the manual, but I just want you to have a practical view on how to play the card. Yes, I'm just going to do a quick video with voice at the background for you to know. First, you're going to see the card A, B and C, how it is played, how you can use it during therapy section, and how you can play it as a fun game. Now this card contains card A, B and C. Card A is a bad card that contains distorted thoughts, that is bad thoughts. Card B is a good card that contains counter thoughts, good thoughts. Card C is a suggestion. Now it can be played in different ways, but let's start with the fun way. The fun way is you have to remove all the whole card C, then bring together card A and B, then you shuffle it. It can be played between two persons, more than two persons, depending, like what. Now if you check this card that is on this screen, you discover that there is card A and B. Now this card A and B, now the card A states that because I failed this test, I will always fail in all text. Now you also discover that there is a counter thought, which is the card B. If you read very well, you discover that this card B is a good thought that can counter this card A. Now the same thing applicable to all the cards that you are seeing on this screen. Now we have the card A, which is the bad card, and the card B, which is the good card. Now if you are playing it with anyone, or maybe with your husband, your wife, with your student, or the student are playing it by themselves, all you have to do is to get the card A and B together and shuffle it. Then the person that shuffle it will share it among. Now once the person shuffle and share the cards finish, then the person have to play a card A, which is the bad card. And the person will now say, okay, the next person should play. Now the next person need to look at the card he or she has, and then look for card B that can counter that card A. That is a good card, a card with a good thought that can counter that card A. If the person has it, the person will now play the card B and then wins the two cards and keep it one side. And the person that wins that card will now play a card A. But if the person doesn't have the card B that could be used to counter that card A, that means the person has to go to market. This is how it is played. Now this continues until the whole card is exhausted. Now all the people that are playing the card will now count the number of cards they won. The person with the highest number wins. Now I want you to carefully look at the cards that is being displayed. You discover that every card A has a card B. Every bad card has a counter card. This is how it is being played. Now if you want to use it for therapy purposes, remember this fun part is also therapeutic, yes, because it helps them to master or to acquire that cognitive restructuring skill that will help them to counter every negative thought that will affect how they feel and their behavior. Now during therapy, it is left for you as a counselor to place this or the whole card A on the table as it is placed on this table. Then ask your client to look at the card A and see if there is any thought, any card that is speaking what he or she is thinking. Now once the client looks at the card, the client now pick a card that aligns with what he or she is thinking. After then, you place all the whole card B and then ask the client to pick a card B that can counter that thought. The client now pick. Now after the client must have picked the card, now you now place all the card C and ask the client to pick any card C that could be of an alternative to him or her. This is how it is being done. Now once this whole thing is done, in a situation where the client doesn't have doesn't see any card A that align with what he or she is thinking, now you now ask the client to write down whatever he or she thinks or whatever he or she is thinking that is affecting how he or she is feeling. Because from the conversation, you must have educated the client about all the whole distorted thoughts. Now the client has to write it down, and now you also tell the client to write the counter thought to this. Now the target here X, or the objective is to help this client identify their negative thoughts. And once they have identified their negative thought, you also help the client to challenge that negative thought and also to change that negative thought. That is the summary of everything. So I hope this explanation will help you to know how to play the card. Thank you. So in summary, while playing the card like a fun game, as I mentioned earlier, after sharing the cards among those people who are playing the card, the remaining should be placed for market. That market is when the person that is playing, that should play the counter thought, doesn't have it, the person has to go to general market and pick it. The person has to go to general market. So this is how it is played. It's played like a word, and in the other form that I told you. You also have the right to, find out another strategy that you can use.